Hey, it's me. I'm back again, and this week I'm going to be doing something kind of different again. I'm going to be talking about a new release film because I went and saw Pearl this weekend and I thought, why not talk about it? This is going to be a spoiler full discussion because I think there's no way to talk about it any way that's interesting without talking about any spoilers. So if you haven't seen this film and you don't want it spoiled for you, don't watch this video, go watch it, go watch X and come back later. I'm also gonna do a little, I went to some like thrift stores and book fairs and stuff this weekend and I found some kind of fun stuff, so I thought, why not maybe talk about those at the end. In case you didn't know, Pearl is a prequel to the film X, which came out earlier this year. I can't believe that we're in a year where we're getting two Ti West films in the same year. This is super exciting, although hopefully this is a restart of Ti West's career. That would be amazing if he wants to put out 2 movies every year. Please, Ti West, go for it, because in my opinion, I love his films. I guess Ti West is kind of known as being like a slow burn horror director. House of the Devil, I think, is a good example of that. Nothing really it's like all about the build up to the last 20 minutes, but I really like that. I love how he can create such a great atmosphere with such a probably limited budget, because all his films have a super small feel to them, and X and Pearl are no exception, especially the two of them together, because they're all basically shot on the same location at the same farm. Yeah, so let's get into it. Let's talk about Pearl a little bit. So Pearl stars Mia Goth as Pearl. I'll talk about X a little bit too, because I am kind of surprised I didn't do a video about it, but I kind of just liked it too much that I didn't really want to talk about it. I thought it was super fun. The gore is there, the kills are there. I love Ti West's slow burn, and especially X was definitely more of a slow burn, and it just goes batshit crazy in the last 30 minutes, and I really love that. And I thought everyone's performances in X were really good. Mia Goth and Brittany Snow, Jenna Ortega was in it. It's a really good film. I totally recommend it. So Mia Goth played 2 characters in X. I don't even remember her. I think it was Maxine or something. I'm so sorry. I don't remember her character in X, but she also played the old lady in X, whose name is Pearl. And now we get the movie Pearl, which is just a prequel, giving us the origin story of Pearl. I thought in both films, but especially in Pearl, Mia Goth does such a wonderful, her performance is amazing. And she also co-wrote the film with Ti West, and from what I understand, they wrote it together on the set of X. Oh, well, they were filming X and it took them like an afternoon or something to write it. Maybe because it is a very self-contained film again. It takes place in a very short amount of time, like maybe a week or so, and it all takes place mostly on the same farm that X takes place on, in this farmhouse. And Mia Goth plays Pearl as a 20-something-year-old, I would guess, maybe late teens. The actress herself, Mia Goth, I feel like I keep saying her name. I looked it up because I cannot tell her age. She looks like she could be 16. Apparently she is currently 28. She just had a baby with Shia LaBeouf. They have a weird on again, off again relationship, but they're married. Yeah. So she did a killer performance as Pearl. I think she did such a great job of like exuding this sort of craziness that the character really needs to sort of inform all her decision making. Like, there's obviously something not right with the way this person's thinking, and she just does a great job in her performance of showing that. There's a great monologue scene near the end. But here's the thing where I think this movie falls short. The monologue scene is great, but there's almost no tension throughout this film. Like, especially the monologue. Of course, we're going to cut back and the person she's talking to is going to look shocked and horrified and try to run away and of course she's going to end up getting killed. And you know, when all these things happen, it is gory and the performances are good, but it's not like anything is really suspenseful or really a surprise. You kind of know what to expect. There was a scene earlier with her mom. So Mia Goth plays Pearl. She's in her 20s, married, but her husband had to go off to war. She's living with her parents in this old farmhouse, doing a lot of the chores, helping out her mom. Her mom is this sort of strict, straight-laced German woman, and her dad has suffered some sort of injury or illness that's left him basically totally dependent on them for his care. He can't speak or move, and there's a lot of really creepy scenes of Pearl taking care of her dad. Really, I don't even want to say borderline inappropriate. They're like straight up inappropriate, that she's like in the bath and talking to him, and so it's a little weird, but it's really good. It really adds this element. That part I did find was kind of terrifying. Imagining being that dad and, you know, being so helpless and immobile and relying on this person for your care, and it's your daughter who you love, and then you see her going batshit crazy and killing her mom and killing the farm animals. And that part I think was the highest stakes for me, where I felt there's some tension here, but it doesn't last very long, unfortunately. Yeah, and she's sort of this woman who aspires to bigger things. She wants to be a dancer. She loves sneaking off. She goes to town to buy her dad's medication, and she'll sneak off and go to the movie theater and watch a film. And she has aspirations of being an actress or a dancer, and her mom just keeps beating her down and telling her, you know, you're never going to be good enough. You're never gonna get out of here. Basically, all you're good for is helping me, and you're not even that good at doing those things. Yeah, it kind of feels like a very sort of dire dead-end situation for her, especially the sitting around waiting for your husband to come back from war, not even knowing if he will come back or not. And so I do think a lot of her actions are sort of dictated by those feelings, right? She saw a little out. She met the projectionist at the movie theater, and he seemed to take a liking to her, but then even that seemed kind of to be a dead end. She goes to a dance audition. That part was great. What else can I say about Pearl? I feel like with Pearl, it's a little like Ti West maybe kind of deviates a bit from his like more slow burn like build up to all the kills and the gore, and in Pearl it kind of happens right from the beginning. And I mean, I think it's intentional, because if you saw X, you already kind of have an idea of what this character is like. And so there wasn't going to be any of that like tension building or like this reveal that, oh, she's, you know, going around killing people. So I kind of did like that, but at the same time, I think is maybe where the tension is lacking. I mean, that's not the only reason why. I recommend this film if you're thinking of going to see it. I mean, just the fact that we have 2 Ti West films in 1 year is great. I feel like it's been so long since he actually directed a film, and it's just really exciting. And when you're in the theaters watching it, and they show all the other horror trailers before the movie, that feels really promising. Like, I'm really looking forward to seeing Smile, even though I think it could probably be really disappointing. But there's aspects of that film that really freak me out, especially as someone who used to work in healthcare. That like healthcare environment of like walking by a room and seeing someone sitting at the edge of their bed already in a real life situation can be kind of terrifying. And then when you put it into a horror situation, for me, that feels like that's kind of something fun that I want to see in a movie. And what else? So there's Don't Worry Darling, which apparently has had horrible reviews, which is a real bummer, because I was really excited to see it. And I know there's all this drama, but I don't even care about that. Like, I thought the film itself from the trailer looked really good, about like this weird utopian paradise suburban living community that's like a sort of seems Stepford Wifey, but then there's also like the fallout from the nuclear testing facility close by. It's all things that like really Florence Pugh, it's one of my favorites. It's all things that really are like speak to me And so I think I'll still go see it even though it's getting really bad reviews, but I'm willing to give it a try. I've been watching some really terrible movies lately too. One of them was The Eyes of Tammy Faye, which I just think watching Jessica Chastain sort of role play as Tammy Faye was just too weird for me. And as usual, the documentary was way better than this film. I actually have been really liking Andrew Garfield lately, so his performance as Jim Baker was not bad. I watched him in Under the Banner of Heaven recently, which is a show that I think was on HBO or HBO Max about the Church of the Latter-day Saints and a tragedy, it's based on a real story and based on a book by John Krakauer, which he wrote like Into the Wild about Chris McCandless, the guy who went up to Alaska to survive in the wilderness. So Under the Banner of Heaven starring Andrew Garfield was good. His performance was great. I never was a big Andrew Garfield fan before, but for some reason those two films, and then was it Under Silver Lake or whatever, that movie was really strange and his performance was good in it. Eyes of Tammy Faye, not that good. And also Ridley Scott's House of Gucci was equally disappointing. And I went into both with low expectations. Both were, I don't know, I guess more disappointing than I thought they would be. They're also both very long. They both have good performances and really cartoony performances. So I went to, like I said, a book fair that was put on by a local library, but not my local library. But anyways, I found some fun stuff. I got this VHS of Frog. I currently do not have a VCR, but if you've seen this movie, please comment below and tell me if it's worth me trying to get a VCR for, which I'm kind of planning on getting anyways. I also got a beautiful VHS copy of Xanadu, which I know I did a review of that with Flash Gordon, a double feature, and I don't think I spoke that highly of Xanadu. But there are things I totally love about that film, and Olivia Newton-John is really one of them. I still haven't seen Grease, so I guess it's for me, she's an angel. There's literally no one else like Olivia Newton-John, and I can see why she was, a huge star. I didn't love that film when I watched it. Like I said, there's great things about it. Her performance, the singing, the ELO score, all these things are really, or soundtrack, whatever, these things are so good. And then when she died a couple weeks ago, I just it kind of broke my heart, and I was actually really more emotionally affected by it than I would have thought, because I don't have any sort of nostalgic connection to Olivia Newton-John and her career and all these things. She doesn't really play a significant role in my life, I guess. But and then weirdly we went to a thrift store and they had Xanadu on VHS, and I just had to get it. Okay, this stupid ring light. Xanadu. A little tear or crease there, but yeah, I'm super excited to have that. I don't know if I'm dying to, get a VCR to watch it or anything, but Frog. So Frog stars Shelley Duvall, Elliot Gould, Scott Grimes, and Paul Williams. And I haven't talked about Paul Williams ever because one of my favorite movies of all time is Phantom of the Paradise, which is directed by Brian De Palma, and it's sort of a musical, and all the music was written by Paul Williams, and a lot of it's performed by him. And I think I've talked about that film a little bit before because of my hate of musicals. And I think that's also why Xanadu has a special place in my heart, because it is more of a musical than anything, and the music in it is so spectacular that I listen to it on its own. And same with Phantom of the Paradise. I listen to that all the time. I just love it. So this movie is 55 minutes long, and it sounds really weird, by Orion Home Video, and I'm just really curious to check this out. So if any of you have seen it, please let me know what you thought of it below. Is it weird? Is it just pretty middle of the road? Is it, like I said, worth getting a VCR for? But And then I also found, which apparently is a pretty common thing to find in book form, but I found this audiobook of Tom Wolfe's Bonfire of the Vanities, which is a film that was also directed by Brian De Palma, one of his maybe biggest failures. And the reason why I picked this up is because I'm really curious. It is read by John Lithgow. John Lithgow is one of my favorite actors. Maybe that's super nerdy, but when I was a kid, I used to love when I would get to babysit at home and I could watch Third Rock from the Sun, and I just thought John Lithgow was the funniest and I loved it. So now I have this double audio cassette, which also I cannot believe how hard it is to find any sort of tape cassette player other than in a huge like sound system boombox type situation, which I don't want. Now I'm kind of looking more for maybe a Walkman or something, so I can listen to this on my walk to work, but so far no luck, so hopefully soon. And then I'll just quickly go through some Blu-rays that I was lucky enough to pick up. The original Men in Black. So this is just kind of like your standard Blu-ray. It comes with like a little thank you from Will Smith himself. Then also we've been on a huge Tony Scott kick, so I also got Days of Thunder starring Tom Cruise, which I was pretty certain that I saw as a kid, and we watched it last night and I had no memory of it. This is a fucking weird movie. I guess it was kind of a flop. I was kind of baffled about how weird this movie is, and it's so similar to Top Gun. I guess the production of this was like just riddled with issues, mostly amongst the like producers. They were just spending money like there was no tomorrow. And I guess so the one guy was kind of up to some sketchy stuff, giving away, he had a closet full of Donna Karan dresses to give to any pretty woman that he saw. And the like meet cute of Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman in this film is just disgusting, and I didn't like it at all. She's his doctor and it's totally inappropriate, and I don't think there's anything cute or sexy about it. So yeah, we should have already known that their marriage would be doomed from the start, because this was the first of their like trilogy of films together. Eyes Wide Shut is way better than this, but I never saw the second, whatever that second one was, Far and Away or something. Anyways, weird movie. So I guess, yeah, with the sort of production issues that they had, they went way overboard, but nobody was willing to push the release date, so they had 5 weeks to edit it instead of 5 months. And I think that's wherein the problem lies, because it doesn't make that much sense. You kind of like jump from one thing to the next. It is like a nice pace, but I never at any point, especially when they introduced Tom Cruise, it seemed like everyone was mad about it, about him being there. I don't know. Honestly, Quentin Tarantino loves this movie, and good for him. I think there's good things about it. It's just weird. It still made a lot of money, but people don't like it. So then in line with the Tony Scott Watch Fest is The Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3. I don't think I've seen this film. I wasn't a huge Denzel fan, but I do like him in these Tony Scott movies. I think Tony Scott knows how to sort of get a fun performance out of him. And John Travolta, you know, could be really fun. This also has a commentary with Tony Scott, which I might check out. So then I also got this film. If you've seen this, let me know below what you thought of this. Mobsters. I almost said Monsters. I was sort of torn on getting it, but Richard Grieco, Christian Slater, a young Patrick Dempsey, and Lara Flynn Boyle playing a sexy something or another, which like is not how you'd ever describe Lara Flynn Boyle. Sultry. So I haven't watched this yet, but I'm kind of curious. I think it might be terrible, but I will probably check it out at some point. And then I also got Clue. I feel like this is a classic. I've never seen it. 1985, starring Tim Curry. Tim Curry, one of the... Tim Curry. I like a good Tim Curry. I also got this film. So this is a Korean film, and is a revenge film, female revenge film, which is a genre I really like. It is a newer film. It's from 2017. It is long-ish. The description here is hyperkinetic, equal parts Kill Bill, La Femme Nikita, and John Wick. And that's a quote by Scream Anarchy. And that won me over because I love Nikita, love Kill Bill, and I kind of love the first John Wick. I was like on the fence, love or hate. Anyways, so if you've seen this film, please let me know what you thought of it. I'm definitely gonna check it out. It definitely had good ratings on Letterboxd, which is also why I picked it up. But then also I found, so these last four films were all from the same thrift store. I think every once in a while there's a film nerd who lives around here who just donates all their movies, maybe after they've seen them, because every once in a while there's like a jackpot of really fun and interesting movies. And so I actually found a Lucio Fulci film at a thrift store, and it's The Devil's Honey. I'm pretty sure I did a review on this film. I'm pretty sure it is just too much for me. I didn't really enjoy it, but it is entertaining. And whoever had this must have switched the case, because it is in a Blu-ray case instead of a black Severin case. It has the Severin logo, and I already own a copy of this, and it is in a black Severin case. Yeah, and there's alternate artwork. It's like a real, it's not like someone ripped it off or anything. This is like the real deal. So I might be doing this. I'm hoping to do a Halloween giveaway, and I think this will be a part of it, unless if you think it's horribly tacky to give away like a previously viewed secondhand movie. I mean, to be honest, if someone was giving it to me, I wouldn't complain, because I'll check it and make sure it works before I give it to anyone or include it in the giveaway. But yeah, that's what I was going to do with it, having a second copy. But I felt kind of guilty about buying it because I already have it, and I think someone else should experience The Devil's Honey by Lucio Fulci. But then I bought it so no one else would be able to, at least not anyone who lives around here. But anyways, and then lastly, this is actually the first one I found in this little thrift shopping trip. And it's what made me like, oh, okay, I better stick around and like have a better look through all these Blu-rays real quick, because I found this movie. Love Me Deadly. Daddy is a naked corpse on a slab. Lindsay is 18. She visits her daddy every night. Warning, this is the strangest, most unnatural union ever consummated between the living and the dead. Okay, this is what the back looks like. This was put out by Code Red. There's the disc. I'll just do this as like kind of an unboxing. And there's alternate artwork. The reviews on this one are a little disturbing. So it even has beware this film in which supernatural suspense and terror go hand in icy hand and is not recommended for the emotionally immature, which is definitely not me. I am so emotionally mature. I definitely will be able to handle this movie. And then the other fun thing is, I guess this has sort of like the option to play it with like sort of a Joe Bob Briggs commentary along with it. Not commentary, but you know, so you can play it in Maria's B movie mayhem mode. Maria is a WWE superstar who I guess like hosts this B movie mayhem. That also kind of won me over. It seems interesting. I will definitely be checking it out. And this is a super long video. So like I said, comment below about any of those films, if you've seen them or not. If you've seen Pearl, let me know what you thought of it. We're heading into October. I also just started a full-time job. I had been working part-time, very part-time for the last year. So I'm not 100% sure what my sort of uploading schedule is gonna look like. I'm gonna try to keep it consistent, as in like a video every week or every 2 weeks as much as I can. But it'll be about different stuff, I think. There won't really be as many double feature Fridays because it's gonna be harder for me to watch stuff on my own to prepare for those sorts of things. So I do have a couple of videos planned coming up, and then I think I'm going to be going to some horror conventions in October. I'll probably just do some like day out videos of bye. Okay, that's it for now.